thank you for tuning in to Interview with DJ Nocturna. If you're watching on my YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, and share. And if you're also watching on my podcast, please also like, subscribe, and share. Of course, you can watch my podcast in various streaming platforms. It's also on Spotify as well, and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or just go to my website, djnocturna.com. Anyway, my guest today is all the way at the UK, the indie pop band from Oxford, Jody
Hi.
and the Jerms.
Hello.
And I've got Niall Jeger and Jody Jeger. Thank you both for joining me. It's a pleasure to have you guys.
Thank you for getting up so early to make it conducive to UK time.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, I know. I just find it fascinating that so thank God for technology, right?
Yeah.
If we were like 20 years ago, or maybe somewhere around there, 30 years ago, we wouldn't be able to do this online. It would probably be on the phone or something, which is great. So, and I could see you guys. It's almost like meeting you guys in person already. Kind of like that, right? Well, thank you for joining me. So, you guys are you've released 3 albums already. The latest one called Wonder was just came out in April. And that is a 12-track LP. And then you released 2 other ones in the beginning, early on, and I guess it must have been during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Tell us how you form the band.
Yeah, so we kind of did our first gig in March 2020, which obviously was a few weeks before things changed quite considerably. But up until that point, I'd always been in bands. Jody had never sung before. I basically got a few songs together, and I had a guy lined up to be the singer, but for whatever reason, he didn't make it to the studio because he's also an actor and got a role in the West End in production there, so he couldn't make it. So I had these songs that I kind of half recorded in the studio with no one to sing. So I thought, okay, that's not going to happen then. But then Jody kind of agreed just to maybe come into the studio and stick something down.
Just as a guide.
Just as a guide, yeah. Because genuinely, I think the last time you sang was in school, in elementary school. Yeah. So, but it worked. I mean, literally, we recorded a song called "Never Going Home," which is actually a cover by a New York shoegaze called The Bell Tower. And 3 weeks later, it was being played on national radio in the UK and in Spain. So then we thought, wow, we weren't expecting that. So we put the band together, did our first gig in March, and then COVID happened, which kind of helped us out. I mean, we just wrote pretty much all the way through lockdown and did our first album. And I mean, because we've been together for a few years, it's fair to say, but this was a new dynamic, a new thing to do, just kind of write songs and lyrics. So it was a real productive time musically throughout pandemic, and then coming out of it, we've just been able to get out there and gig and become a live band. So it's going well, and it's all happening. Good fun.
So how did you guys got together as a couple?
Wow.
Years ago, wasn't it?
New Year's Eve, few drinks, too many maybe, meeting, literally.
At university.
Yeah, bumped into each other.
Oh, at school. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So were you guys always into were you thinking, oh, we're going to do music?
I've nenever done anything. So you were always in lots of bands, weren't you, with friends of ours? But I've never done anything before. Yeah,
and I'd always kind of played bass in bands, in Oxford, in London, but never really played guitar or wrote songs. So when we put the Jerms together, it was me playing guitar and writing songs. So it's kind of it feels really fresh, and it almost feels, sometimes when it's 2 o'clock in the morning and we're sort of running around Liverpool, that we're, teenagers again almost. It's a really sort of energetic band we've put together. And also a couple of members of the band are just friends who had never really played, you know, bass guitar or keyboards in a band before. So, you know, we got them in as well. And it's kind of given it this almost nervous energy that, you know, nerves before a gig and stage fright and dealing with all that is, yeah, I was going to say it's good fun. It's not for the people who get stage fright, but it's kind of good seeing the end result and seeing how people develop and deal with stuff. And yeah, it's been a good ride.
Do you guys still get stage fright?
I think I'm getting better.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
now we've played at, we've done 2 gigs at the Cavern Club now in Liverpool, and I think to myself, well, if you can do that, you can do anything. So it's getting easier the more gigs we do.
I don't. I love it. No. I like showing off. That's why I picked up a guitar in the first place.
So you guys began in 2019, right? You kind of formed it sort of around that. Yeah. Then you had your first album, your debut album called Deeper.
Correct.
So how did you guys coordinate with the title of these albums? I know Deeper, then there was Flicker, and then you have these one-word titles, which is great. And then you've got
both ending in er. So I think
well, Deeper was on the first album.
Yeah, Deeper was one of the songs on the first album, and then Flicker. I think that was a coincidence, but we kind of liked a one-word title. It was funny. Weirdly, someone else released an album called Flicker on that very same day. Yeah, but hey, and then we thought we'd keep the single name ER thing going for our current album Wonder. So yeah, it's just no real reason. I mean, you know, bands arguing about names, arguing about band names. You know, we discussed it a lot. I think it's fair to say, late into the night after a few glasses of wine, etc. But yeah, Wonder came out the other side, and we're happy with it. And
of course, a big shout out to Shameless Promotion PR for connecting us.
Yeah, no, Sean has been great. She's really, really helped us. And where we recorded Wonder, that was with Mark Gardner from a band, Oxford band called Ride. Yeah, so yeah, he's been sort of massively helpful in terms of putting this most recent album together.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, how did you guys all collaborate with Mark Gardner in his, you know, his sound studio, OX4, I believe. Is that what's
yes, that's right. He's just lovely. So he's very calming. The whole environment there is very relaxing. And one of the days, I think, out of all we probably were there 6 months or so, weren't we? On and off. One of the days I got particularly nervous, and he just sat down and he just completely calmed me. Got me doing meditation, and yeah, he's just he's quite an inspiration to work with. Yeah, he's just a gentle, very lovely person.
And he's got a really good guitar collection as well. Yeah. And I mean, I grew up sort of, you know, loving Ride, and yeah, it's been great. But you know, from a technical and sort of production perspective, it's, you know, we went in and recorded our first song, and every session it just seemed to step up and get better and better. So we're going back there in a couple of weeks to, you know, start recording a few more songs.
Yeah. So you said that you guys did some meditation. That's wonderful. So
yeah, it was really,
all three of you kind of just sat
down.
It was just Mark and I, actually, and it was just breathing exercises, and it helped.
Worked. It worked, right? Yeah. So have you been doing that from now on since you
started? I have, yes. He's taught me some exercises now, so I carried on doing them.
Oh, wow. Wow. What a great guy. So that probably explains a lot about your intuition song.
Yeah.
Is there a connection there? Because that's kind of like intuition, you know, that's kind of the mind and, you know, focusing and balancing yourself and that kind of stuff.
Oh, completely. And that's exactly what he has taught me.
It's more about
over there. But with intuition, really, it stems from, I wrote it from when I was cheated on as a teenager, really, and how you're devastated at the time, especially at that age. But then you come around, you heal, and then you realize actually there were signs there, and you just need to listen to the world and listen to things that are going on around you better. And I think you learn that as you get older anyhow, don't you?
Yeah, your intuition becomes sharper
really.
And everything. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, so who does the songwriting? Both of you share the songwriting?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a cliche where I'll kind of strum around on an acoustic guitar and find something that we like, and then Jody will work on the melody and writes all the lyrics now. So it's a good partnership, and then we'll record something usually on an iPhone and send it to the rest of the band, who'll come up with their own things. Rob will come up with his own keyboard ideas, and Pete, who's the other guitarist, and does some singing. It's a real kind of a collaborative process, and no one's ever come with something and we've gone, no, that's horrible. It's all, every time it just seems to work and work and work. So we kind of sow the seed, and then the rest of the germs come up with the good.
Yeah, I like that, the germs. So do you want to do a shout out to all the members? I know there's a big collaboration here with the other members of the band. You want to mention them? Just a big shout out to them.
Yeah, who we got? You go first.
So we've got Robert Anwood, who's on keys. My university friend, actually, David Meaden, who is on bass guitar.
Yeah, then we've got Peter James Milson, who I went to school with many years ago, kind of lost touch with, but we got back in touch when we were recording Deeper, and he said, hey, if you need some loud guitars, then I'm your man. So then Pete joined the band, and then our drummer is Steve Clark, a guy we only met last year actually, because our original drummer Al left the band, and we were really fortunate that literally this guy Steve lives not too far away from us. Had some weird kind of family connections on your side, didn't you? Even though he's a northerner in terms of the UK, but so he's joined and fitted in really well. So that's given us a really sort of good live band this year, and we're all loving it.
I'd like to also mention Drew Atkins as well, because he helps out on bass sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes Dave.
You've always been in bands with Drew over the years.
Yeah, so there's 6 or 7 of us, and all really nice people, and really creative.
So, what are some of your musical inspiration?
Wow. Well, funny enough, when I was 13, 12, my family moved to Texas from the UK. And I remember my uncle, as I was leaving, gave me a copy of Give 'Em Enough Rope by The Clash, and just to make sure that I didn't forget my English roots. So genuinely, I've always kind of referred back to that album sometimes, just to, if I need a kickstart in terms of, songwriting or anything like that. But all sorts, really. I mean, I like, sort of The Clash, The Smiths. I mean, you've got a whole bunch of influences.
People like The Cure, Kirsty MacColl, Blondie, and Dolly Parton, obviously.
Oh,
Brilliant.
yeah, and I saw I think I saw something about Alison Moyet.
Oh, yes, we do one of her songs as well.
Yeah.
Don't we, sometimes?
Love her too, yeah, brilliant too. She's amazing. Yeah. Okay, wow. So if somebody was to ask you, like, what's one word to describe your music, if you were to just give one word?
What do you think? Just fun, maybe?
Pop.
Yeah, well, pop.
Pop. And if it was 2 words, it'd be loud pop. I mean, we've just found a nice little niche where it can be quite kind of punky, quite rocky, a little bit country, even sometimes, a bit shoegaze, but at the heart of it, it just feels like it's nice, upbeat, bittersweet, pop music. So I think that's our one word in what ended up being 55 words, but pop.
Do you guys have a favorite in your in the latest album?
Ooh,
so many.
It's
really hard to have a favorite song, isn't it? Because where we're doing all these shows at the moment, we have to change the set list depending on how long show time is. So if it's an hour, then we can play all of it. If it's 30 minutes, then we have to drop a few tracks. But I think that the track that opens the song, Started Something, that's probably my favorite, and it's got that nice piano kind of intro and really cool vocals. So that's mine. I mean,
I love them all really, but I think what stands out for me is the song called Safe. And I actually wrote it about my best friend who's going through, she's got breast cancer at the moment, so she's going through chemotherapy, and she's doing great. It's great, but it was just, I really wanted to write something to her and for her. And also, coincidentally, she's always been a massive fan of Ride, which is how we kind of got together with recording at OX4. And Mark knows all about her, and I think he put extra into that song, didn't he?
Yeah.
Just to make sure the emotion came over.
And that's safe. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's really nice. That's really sweet.
Thanks.
I'll be sure to play that for sure.
Oh, that'd be lovely. Thank you.
And you know, I like Intuition and Started Something. Yeah, they're all great songs. And I know you guys are still in the middle of your tour. Thank you for taking the time to do this interview. You just finished. Let me see. It is now the 4th in England. You just finished Bristol, and then in a few weeks, in a week or two, you'll be in Oxford, where you're from.
Yeah. It kind of you play, you know, a lot of club venues, and then like certainly there's a lot of festivals now in the UK. So we're kind of going into festival season now. So we've got some of those to play, which is great. We've got a few more to announce as well. And then we're hoping to get to Spain maybe later in the year in November, which is where we got a lot of early radio play. So it'd be great to go over there. And the US as well. I mean, you know, we get some really nice radio. Thank you very much. In the States, and obviously, sort of growing up there myself, I'd love to. I'd love to come back and put some dates together. So yeah, that's kind of something we're talking about quite actively at the moment. So it may happen.
So Niall, you said you lived in the US. How long were you in the US before you?
I was in Texas, in College Station, Texas. For three years, so from about 12 to 15, long time ago, but it was fond memories.
Oh, okay. Because you still got the accent, you know,
okay, I've got a strange accent. Imagine being an English kid going to Texas and then coming back 3 years later. It gives you a funny accent.
No, you sound. I would never know you went to the US, but yeah, that's great. Wow. So, you know, if there was something you want to share with the world about your music, what would it be? What would it be? If there was something you want to tell the world about your music?
Listen to it, have fun, enjoy life, see live music. You know, I think what we're really enjoying is just meeting new people. Yeah. So, you know, I love, bearing in mind Jody had never sung before we put this little adventure together. You know, we come off stage and people come and talk to you and hug and shake hands. And, you know, that's what music is all about. It's just bringing people together, you know, connecting, dealing with emotion, both happy and sad. But I mean, that's the human element of it. I mean, I know so much music now is digitized in terms of streaming and, you know, production and social media. But at the end of the day, you know, just sort of going out, playing live, being together as a band is great as well. It's like that gang mentality, and then just people drift in and drift out. It's an amazing thing.
And I know you guys got the support of the late Janice Long at the BBC.
Yeah,
we did. We were asked to do a session, but sadly she passed away. But we did the session with her producer, and we were big fans. You know, she was a massive advocate of new music. And everybody had so many nice things to say about her.
Wow. So if anybody want to check your music, of course, they can find it on, you have a website, jodyandjerms.com.
Yeah, Jody and Jerms with 2 J's.
Yep. And then you also have Bandcamp?
We're on Bandcamp, yes, please.
Spotify.
Yeah, all the streaming platforms, YouTube, everywhere. And we've got a record, our LP. You can get that from us directly or via Bandcamp, and stream it.
Is it also on vinyl?
Like. We've got it on pink
vinyl. It's lovely.
Awesome. Yeah. Wow. All right. So the latest album called Wonder. It's a full-length LP release in April. It's a 12-track LP, which was produced, mixed, and mastered by the frontman for Ride, Mark Gardner. And people want to check that out, of course, you just mentioned your website and Bandcamp, and yeah, and I'm looking forward to more music as you move along and evolve, and and
Yeah.
do you guys have anything planned already? Like you're thinking of moving forward and.
Who knows? I mean, I think the beautiful thing about Jody and the Jerms is, we kind of accidentally formed the band, and we're just kind of stumbling along at the moment, but improving, getting tighter. So who knows? More live shows, better gigs,
more live shows,
doing some more recording. So we'll have new music out and just keep on feeding the beast, as someone once said, in terms of new music, and keeping busy.
And of course, your tour. Good luck with your tour. I know it goes all the way to September. That's but that's good. You have some break in between, so you can kind of rest a little bit. I'm always amazed at how some bands and artists can just keep going and going and going. You can get burned out.
You can. It's very tiring. It's great fun, but it is tiring. So yeah, I think we've got it right, haven't we?
Yeah, that's why I'm wearing sunglasses, which I don't usually do indoors, but it's been a long couple of weeks. So
I know. I love sunglasses.
I'll keep them on.
I love sunglasses, but if I wore sunglasses for this interview, I'm gonna look like I'm hiding something, so I better not.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I am.
no, I mean all musicians are always hiding something. Anyway,
right.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining me.
Thank you.
No, thanks for having us. Really enjoyed it.
Jody and the Jerms, their latest album, Wonder. Check it out.